So, let's talk about the MYP. You're in it, you know it, but have you ever noticed that your friend's MYP at another school looks, well, totally different from yours? Today we're digging into exactly why that is, and it all boils down to some brilliant flexibility built right into the very heart of the program. Right? Maybe your friend started their MYP in a different grade, or maybe they're taking fewer subjects than you are in the final years. It can be a little confusing for sure. But it turns out there's a really smart reason for all these differences.
Okay, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get into the why behind all this flexibility. Then we'll look at the how, the specific ways schools can actually adapt the program. And finally, we'll talk about the really important stuff that connects every single MYP student, no matter what their program looks like. Let's jump in.
To really get why your MYP might not be a carbon copy of someone else's, we have to understand a super important idea first. The MYP isn't just a strict one-size-fits-all rulebook. Nope, it's something way more dynamic.
The key phrase to remember here is curriculum framework. So instead of a rigid, concrete list of things every single school has to teach, the IB provides a structure. It's the big picture stuff, the core philosophy, the main goals, and the key objectives. This means every school starts with the same super strong foundation to build on.
Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine a blueprint for a building. That blueprint is going to tell you where the essential support beams and the main walls have to go. That's the core structure. But the final building? That can be customized. You can use different materials or change the layout to fit the local environment. The MYP works in exactly the same way.
Okay, so how does this whole blueprint idea actually work in the real world? Let's get into the specifics of how schools can tailor the program. This is where you'll find the answers to why your friend's schedule might not look anything like yours.
Probably the biggest difference you'll see from school to school is the length of the program. Now, the MYP was originally designed as a full 5-year journey, but to make sure it fits with all kinds of different local education systems around the world, schools can offer shorter versions, like for 2, 3, or even 4 years.
And that flexibility in length naturally means flexibility in timing. So, one school might kick off the MYP in grade 6 and run it all the way through grade 10. But another school might start it in grade 7 or even grade 9, all depending on how it lines up with their local school system.
Now let's talk subjects. The whole idea behind the MYP is giving you a really broad, balanced education. And it does that with these 8 subject groups. This is what makes sure you're getting a rich, well-rounded experience, especially in those early years. But as you get older and you start getting closer to the diploma program and thinking about what's next, that broad approach starts to shift a little. The MYP actually allows for more focus in those final 2 years. So in years 4 and 5, some schools might let students specialize a bit by dropping from 8 subjects down to 6. You'll still keep those 5 core groups, but then you get to choose one more from arts, design, or physical and health education. This is awesome because it gives you more time to really dig into the subjects you're most passionate about. So what's the big reason for all this wiggle room? This quote from the IB says it all, really. It lets the MYP fit in with local requirements, like a state curriculum or a national system, while still being 100% true to the core IB mission and philosophy. It's all about being both global and local at the same time.
Okay, so with all these different versions floating around, you might be thinking, are we even doing the same program? And the answer to that is a huge, definite yes. Let's look at the powerful core experiences that every single MYP student shares, no exceptions.
That's right. It doesn't matter if your MYP is 2 years or 5, if you take 6 subjects or 8. You are on the exact same fundamental journey. The outside structure might look a little different, but the heart and soul of the experience, it's universal.
It all starts right here with the IB learner profile. These 10 attributes are basically the DNA of an IB education. No matter where in the world you are, we're all working on developing these same qualities, from being curious inquirers to courageous risk takers. This is our shared goal. This is what connects us.
Next up, the approaches to learning, or ATL skills. This is the how of your education. It's not just about what you learn, but how you learn it. Every MYP school on the planet is explicitly teaching these skills, things like collaboration and critical thinking, to make sure you're ready to be an independent, lifelong learner.
We also all connect our learning to the big, messy, real world through these 6 global contexts. These are like the lenses we use to help us answer the question, so what? Why does this even matter? So whether you're in a science class or an arts class, you're exploring huge ideas like globalization and sustainability, or fairness and development. And finally, every single MYP journey builds towards a big final capstone experience. For most of you, that's going to be the personal project in your final year. An amazing chance to deep dive into something you're truly passionate about. If you're in a shorter program, it's the community project. Either way, it's a huge celebration of all the skills and knowledge you've gained along the way.
So at the end of the day, the MYP isn't just one single rigid road. It's more like a journey with a bunch of different starting points and routes that all lead to the same incredible destination. A powerful, shared educational experience that's designed to fit your world. And that leaves us with one last question to think about. How does your MYP's unique flexibility shape your journey?